Welcome back to the Clueless Catholic Podcast, where we're just rediscovering the Bible with wide eyes and open hearts.
We are two cradle Catholics, somehow missed the details the first time around. And today, drum roll, please, we are wrapping up the story of Joseph in Genesis chapters 46 through 50. Can you believe it's our 11th episode and we're finishing Genesis already?
Time goes by when you're clueless and having fun. We've seen Joseph go from the pit to the palace, sold by his brothers, wrongly imprisoned, and now second in command in Egypt. And now we finally get to the family reunion, a father's blessing, and Joseph's final words.
These chapters are rich with emotion and insight. So let's get started.
All right. So today we're going to go back to reading a majority of from the Bible instead of our summaries. Before the podcast, I was telling Karen, we were talking about, going back to reading because I really like the way the Bible is written, and we're using the New Living Translation Bible, and I thought we were starting at chapter 47. Whoops. Didn't really read chapter 46. And there's a whole bunch of names that we're not going to get into.
I was going to ask you that beforehand. I was like, is she?
You should have asked me that beforehand.
That's okay.
So anyways, we're just going to go with it. We're going to read. I'm not going to bore you with all the genealogy. If you'd like to see the genealogy, please read it yourself. So anyway, so this is Jacob's journey to Egypt. So Genesis chapter 46. So Jacob set out for Egypt with all his possessions, and when he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. During the night, God spoke to him in a vision. Jacob, Jacob, he called. Here I am, Jacob replied. I am God, the God of your father, the voice said. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make your family into a great nation. I will go with you down to Egypt, and I will bring you back again. You will die in Egypt, but Joseph will be with you to close your eyes. So Jacob left Beersheba, and his sons took him to Egypt. They carried him and their little ones and their wives in the wagons Pharaoh had provided for them. They also took all their livestock and all their personal belongings they had acquired in the land of Canaan. So Jacob and his entire family went to Egypt, sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, all his descendants. These are the names of the descendants. So if you want to see all the names, go for it.
You're chickening out because you don't know how to pronounce some of them.
I don't. Let's be honest. I don't.
I don't either.
Well, there you go. Okay, and then we're going to skip down to verse 28. Jacob's family arrives in Goshen. As they neared their destination, Jacob sent Judah ahead to meet Joseph and get directions to the region of Goshen. And when they finally arrived there, Joseph prepared his chariot and traveled to Goshen to meet his father Jacob. When Joseph arrived, he embraced his father and wept, holding him for a long time. Finally, Jacob said to Joseph, Now I am ready to die, since I have seen your face again and know you are still alive. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's entire family, I will go to Pharaoh and tell him, my brothers and my father's entire family have come to me from the land of Canaan. These men are shepherds, and they raise livestock. They have brought with them their flocks and herds and everything they own. Then he said, when Pharaoh calls for you and asks you about your occupation, you must tell him, we, your servants, have raised livestock all our lives, as our ancestors have always done. When you tell him this, he will let you live here in the region of Goshen, for the Egyptians despise shepherds. Okay, that's the majority of 46.
Is it really bad? You know, when you grow up, we grew up in Indiana. So every time I see Goshen, I think of Goshen, Indiana.
True that, right?
That is not the Goshen that they are at. So
No, it's not Goshen, Indiana.
I thought it was really interesting. The part he says, "Now I'm ready to die." Basically, that I've seen you. I've seen you, Joseph. Right? You're still
Right.
now. He's kind of at peace with himself.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat. A really
Mhm.
cool reunion of sorts.
Yeah, especially, if you watched our other episodes, you realize that Joseph's brothers, told their father that he was killed. So,
Yeah,
and that would, I get that, now that he's seen his son, he's okay
yeah,
now.
yeah. All those years of betrayal and suffering leading right up to this moment. I think that's pretty cool.
Me too. I
And
agree.
then God brings them into Egypt, but still protects their identity. Just trying
Yeah.
to think of anything else
Even
that
after all that he's been through and what his family did, Joseph had the faith that this was God's will,
yeah,
and protected his family, knowing that that was God's will. And God's always given him favor. So,
always
mhm.
beautiful. All right. I think I'm next.
You're next.
Chapter 47.
Mhm.
Okay, this is where Jacob blesses Pharaoh. Then Joseph went to see Pharaoh and told him, "My father and my brothers have arrived from the land of Canaan. They have come with all their flocks and herds, not herbs, herds and possessions, and they are now in the region of Goshen." And Joseph took 5 of his brothers with him and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh asked the brothers, "What is your occupation?" They replied, "We, your servants, are shepherds, just like our ancestors. We have come to live here in Egypt for a while, for there is no pasture for our flocks in Canaan. The famine is very severe there, so please, we request permission to live in the region of Goshen." Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Now that your father and brothers have joined you there, choose any place in the entire land of Egypt for them to live. Give them the best land of Egypt. Let them live in the region of Goshen, and if any of them have special skills, put them in charge of my livestock too." Then Joseph brought in his father, Jacob, and presented him to Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. "How old are you?" Pharaoh asked him. Jacob replied, "I have traveled this earth for 130 years, but my life has been short compared to the lives of my ancestors." Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh again before leaving his court. So Joseph assigned the best land of Egypt, the region of
Ramses.
Thank you, to his father and his brothers, and he settled them there, just as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph provided food for his father and his brothers in amounts appropriate to the number of their dependents, including the smallest children. Meanwhile, the famine became so severe that all the food was used up, and people were starving throughout the lands of Egypt and Canaan. By selling grain to the people, Joseph eventually collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan, and he put the money in Pharaoh's treasury. When the people of Egypt and Canaan ran out of money, all the Egyptians came to Joseph. "Our money is gone," they cried, "but please give us food, or we will die before your very eyes." Joseph replied, "Since your money is gone, bring me your livestock. I will give you food in exchange for your livestock." So they brought their livestock to Joseph in exchange for food. In exchange for their horses, flocks of sheep and goats, herds of cattle and donkeys, Joseph provided them with food for another year. But that year ended, and the next year they came again and said, "We cannot hide the truth from you, my lord. Our money is gone, and all of our livestock and cattle are yours. We have nothing left to give but our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your very eyes? Buy us and our land in exchange for food." We offer our land and ourselves as slaves for Pharaoh. Just give us grain so we may live and not die, and so the land does not become empty and desolate. So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. All the Egyptians sold him their fields because the famine was so severe, and soon all the land belonged to Pharaoh. As for the people, he made them all slaves from one end of Egypt to the other. The only land he did not buy was the land belonging to the priests. They received an allotment of food directly from Pharaoh, so they didn't need to sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, "Look, today I have bought you your land for Pharaoh. I will provide you with seed so you can plant the fields. Then, when you harvest it, 1/5 of your crop will belong to Pharaoh. You may keep the remaining 4/5 as seed for your field and as food for you, your households, and your little ones." "You have saved our lives," they exclaimed. "May it please you, my lord, to let us be Pharaoh's servants." Joseph then issued a decree, still in effect in the land of Egypt, that Pharaoh should receive 1/5 of all the crops grown on his land. Only the land belonging to the priests was not given to Pharaoh. Meanwhile, the people of Israel settled in the region of Goshen in Egypt. There they acquired property, and they were fruitful, and their population grew rapidly. Jacob lived for 17 years after his arrival in Egypt, so he lived 147 years in all. As the time of his death drew near, Jacob called for his son Joseph and said to him, "Please do me this favor. Put your hand under my thigh and swear that you will treat me with unfailing love by honoring this last request. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I die, please take my body out of Egypt and bury me with my ancestors." So Joseph promised, "I will do as you ask." "Swear that you will do it," Jacob insisted. So Joseph gave his oath, and Jacob bowed humbly at the head of his bed.
Well, I mean, that was probably God's covenant, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So his last acts are full of faith. That's how I
Full.
see it. You?
Yes, absolutely. And I thought that it was surprising that the people are thanking Joseph for turning them into servants.
Yeah.
But I guess that's when you're starving, survival is mercy.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to ask you, and but maybe I missed it. What? Okay, so he told them to tell Pharaoh that they were shepherds. Well, I forget, what were they?
I
Please
forget.
comment below if you know. What did we read? Do you remember?
No, I
Because
don't
that's a
remember.
lie, right? Isn't that a lie?
I don't remember.
I
Well,
don't.
let me see here.
Does
No.
anybody know?
Or our husbands when you need
I know, right? Where are they?
them.
Joseph's family. They weren't shepherds, but Joseph told them they were told them to tell the Pharaoh that they were shepherds, but I don't know what they were. I can't remember because we are clueless.
Yeah, we are. We can't remember anything.
Clueless.
Hold on, I'm going to check here.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. That could be a trivia question.
Look at this
Trivia
checklist.
question with no answer. Those are my
Oh,
favorite.
goodness. Joseph's brothers and father were shepherds. They raised livestock and herded animals.
Well, then why would he say that then?
I don't
Am
know.
I missing something?
I think we're missing something. I don't see anything else. I had to ask ChatGPT, and that's all at ChatGPT.
Oh, brother.
I was hoping it'd be a really quick answer, but no, it's like paragraphs of stuff. But
Of course, of course. Oh well. Well, here we go.
that's okay. That's okay. We're
That's
going to be clueless today. Maybe,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
maybe,
But
maybe somebody knows better.
yes, but I'm sure if somebody's watching out there, please comment, and help us.
We need all the help we can get.
Definitely. All right. Anything else that you would like to reflect on before we go to chapter 48?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
All right, so chapter 48, Jacob blesses Manasseh and Ephraim. Um, One day, not long after this, word came to Joseph, your father is failing rapidly. So Joseph went to visit his father, and he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Joseph arrived, Jacob was told, your son Joseph has come to see you. So Jacob gathered his strength and sat up in his bed. Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. He said to me, I will make you fruitful, and I will multiply your descendants. I will make you a multitude of nations, and I will give this land to Canaan to your descendants after you as an everlasting possession. Now I am claiming as my own sons these two boys of yours, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born here in the land of Egypt before I arrived. They will be my sons, just as Reuben and Simeon are. But any children born to you in the future will be your own, and they will inherit land within the territories of their brothers, Ephraim and Manasseh. Long ago, as I was returning from Paddan Aram, Rachel died in the land of Canaan. We were still on the way some distance from Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. So with great sorrow, I buried her there beside the road to Ephrath. Then Jacob looked over at the two boys. Are these your sons? He asked. Yes, Joseph told him. These are the sons God had given me here in Egypt. And Jacob said, bring them closer to me so I can bless them. Jacob was half blind because of his age and could hardly see. So Joseph brought the boys close to him. Jacob kissed and embraced them. Then Jacob said to Joseph, I never thought I would see your face again, but now God has let me see your children too. Joseph moved the boys who were at their grandfather's knees, and he bowed with his face to the ground. Then he positioned the boys in front of Jacob. With his right hand, he directed Ephraim toward Jacob's left hand, and with his left hand, he put Manasseh as Jacob's right hand. But Jacob crossed his arms as he reached out to lay his hands on the boys' heads. He put his right hand on the head of Ephraim, though he was the younger boy, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh, though he was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, may the God before whom my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this very day, the angel who has redeemed me from all harm, may he bless these boys. May they preserve my name and the names of Abraham and Isaac, and may their descendants multiply greatly throughout the earth. But Joseph was upset when he saw that his father placed his right hand on Ephraim's head. So Joseph lifted it and moved it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. No, my father, he said, this is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused. I know, my son, I know, he replied. Manasseh will also become a great people, but his younger brother will become even greater, and his descendants will become a multitude of nations. So Jacob blessed the boys that day with his blessing. The people of Israel will use your names when they give a blessing. They will say, may God make you as prosperous as Ephraim and Manasseh. In this way, Jacob put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Then Jacob said to Joseph, look, I am about to die, but God will be with you and will take you back to Canaan, the land of your ancestors. And beyond what I have given your brother, I am giving you an extra portion of the land that I took from the Amorites with his sword and bow.
This reminds me so much of Isaac and Jacob, the blessings, right? Isaac and Jacob.
Yes.
And then even Cain and Abel, God keeps flipping the expectations, choosing the younger.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because the oldest is usually supposed to get the bigger blessing, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, hmm. Well, I wonder
So
why.
he's not bound. God's not bound by human tradition, obviously.
Obviously,
He blesses according to his own purpose.
God's way or the highway.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Wow.
cool. Pretty cool. It's
Yeah,
like history keeps repeating itself, though, I think.
for sure. Yeah. All
There was
right.
something that you read that I was like, wait, oh, it was about Bethlehem.
Oh,
In
yeah. The
yeah,
Ephrath, the
yeah,
Ephrath, and that is Bethlehem. Yeah, Ephrath apparently was another name for Bethlehem.
pretty
I don't
cool.
know. Yeah, I don't remember that part either. It's amazing how like you could read, it a couple times and pick up different things, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah. Well, I like that chapter. That was pretty neat.
Hmm.
You ready for me? My
I am
uncle.
ready for you. Let's hear Jacob's last words.
Woo! Okay. Then Jacob called together all his sons and said, "Gather around me, and I will tell you what will happen to each of you in the days to come. Come and listen, you sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my strength, the child of my vigorous youth. You are first in rank and first in power. But you are as unruly as a flood, and you will be first no longer, for you went to bed with my wife. You defiled my marriage couch." Why don't I not remember that?
Oh my gosh, right? Like he's just calling him out, man. He's just calling everybody out
Hey.
before he dies.
Woo, I don't know if I don't think I'd want to stand there in front of him with this. All right.
No.
Simeon and Levi are two of a kind. Their weapons are instruments of violence. May I never join in their meetings. May I never be a party to their plans. For in their anger, they murdered men and they crippled oxen just for sport. A curse on their anger, for it is fierce, a curse on their wrath, for it is cruel. I will scatter them among the descendants of Jacob. I will disperse them throughout Israel. Judah, your brothers will praise you. You will grasp your enemies by the neck. All your relatives will bow before you. Judah, my son, is a young lion that has finished eating its prey. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down. Like a lioness, who dares to rouse him? The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from his descendants, until the coming of the one to whom it belongs, the one whom all nations will honor. He ties his foal to a grapevine, the colt of his donkey to a choice vine. He washes his clothes in wine, his robes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth are whiter than milk. I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah, me either. I have to say, I don't. If you know what it means, please comment below.
Oh my gosh. All right, Zebulon. Oh, now I get to read all the hard words. Okay, Zebulon. Zebulon will settle by the seashore. Hey, that's pretty cool. And will be a harbor for ships. His borders will extend to Sidon. Sure,
Yeah.
we'll go.
Okay.
Is it Issachar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is a sturdy donkey. What's up with these donkeys?
I don't know.
Issachar is a sturdy donkey resting between two saddle packs. When he sees how good the countryside is and how pleasant the land, he will bend his shoulder to the load and submit himself to hard labor. All right. Dan. Everybody else has a very long name. Then we got Dan. Dan will govern his people like any other tribe in Israel. Dan will be a snake beside the road, a poisonous viper along the path that bites the horse's hooves so its rider is thrown off. I trust in you for salvation, O Lord. And then you got Gad. Gad will be attacked by marauding bands, but he will attack them when they retreat. Asher will dine on rich foods and produce food fit for kings. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. And Joseph is a foal of a wild donkey, the foal of a wild donkey at a spring, one of the wild donkeys on the ridge. Sorry, there was a lot of donkeys in that one. Archers attacked him savagely. They shot at him and harassed him, but his bow remained taut, and his arms were strengthened by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, by the shepherd, the rock of Israel. May the God of your father help you. May the Almighty bless you with the blessings of the heavens above, and blessings of the watery depths below, and blessings of the breasts and womb. May my fatherly blessings on you surpass the blessings of my ancestors, reaching to the heights of the eternal hills. May these blessings rest on the head of Joseph, who is the prince among his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, devouring his enemies in the morning and dividing his plunder in the evening. These are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said as he told his sons goodbye. He blessed each one with an appropriate message. Then Jacob instructed them, soon I will die and join my ancestors. Bury me with my father and grandfather in the cave in the field of Ephron and Hittite. This is the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre in Canaan that Abraham bought from Ephron the Hittite as a permanent burial site. There Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried, and there I buried Leah. It is the plots of land and the cave that my grandfather Abraham bought from the Hittites. When Jacob had finished his charge to his sons, he drew his feet into the bed, breathed his last, and joined his ancestors in death.
Hmm.
Wow.
There's a lot in there. You know, I mean, to me, I don't know. I got from he's just telling all his sons all the different nations that are gonna
And is that how they're going to rule? Is that it? Or
something like they're gonna. I mean, what I got from it is that you're gonna go this way, you're gonna go this way, you're gonna go this way. Like it's spread out in all the nations. I don't know. What do you think on that one?
they're
I don't.
scattered? Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense if they're tribes. They can't all be in the same place, right?
Right. I think God wants it that way.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's what I got. I don't know. Anything
Yeah.
else you think on that one?
Um, no, I was just kind of looking over my notes, but I don't know. I'm still wrapped up in all of the blessings that are. It's a little confusing, I think, to me anyway.
Yeah, that was a lot. In the Bible, we have the inspired Bible, and there's pages that you can color. And I like this one, the one that's highlighted. I trust in you for salvation, oh Lord.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of times when I want to hear the word, but I don't really not to really feel and contemplate a whole chapter or something. I like to
Yeah.
go through and just read some of the the
No,
highlighted verses.
that is perfect. 49:18. I trust in you for salvation, oh Lord. That's
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I like that one. I do. All right. So the last chapter in Genesis, can you believe it? Chapter 50.
We're there.
Woohoo! Joseph threw himself on his father and wept over him and kissed him. Then Joseph told the physicians who served him to embalm his father's body. So Jacob was embalmed. The embalming process took the usual 40 days, and the Egyptians mourned his death for 70 days. When the period of mourning was over, Joseph approached Pharaoh's advisors and said, please do me a favor and speak to Pharaoh on my behalf. Tell him that my father made me swear an oath. He said to me, listen, I'm about to die. Take my body back to the land of Canaan and bury me in the tomb I prepared for myself. So please allow me to go and bury my father. After his burial, I will return without delay. Pharaoh agreed to Joseph's request. Go and bury your father as he made you promise, he said. So Joseph went up to bury his father. He was accompanied by all of Pharaoh's officials, all the senior members of Pharaoh's household, and all the senior officers of Egypt. Joseph also took his entire household and his brothers and their households, but they left their little children in flocks and herds in the land of Goshen. A great number of chariots and charioteers accompanied Joseph. When they arrived at the threshing floor of Atad near the Jordan River, they held a very great and solemn memorial service with the 7-day period of mourning for Joseph's father. The local residents, the Canaanites, watched them mourning at the threshing floor of Atad. Then they renamed that place, which was near the Jordan, Abel Mizraim, for they said, "This is the place of deep mourning for these Egyptians." So Jacob's sons did as he had commanded them. They carried his body to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre. This is the cave that Abraham had bought as a permanent burial site from Ephron the Hittite. Joseph reassures his brothers. After burying Jacob, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brothers and all who had accompanied him in his father's burial. But now that their father was dead, Joseph's brothers became fearful. "Now Joseph will show his anger and pay us back for all the wrong we did to him," they said. So they sent this message to Joseph: "Before your father died, he instructed us to say to you, 'Please forgive your brothers for the great wrong they did to you, for their sin in treating you so cruelly. So we, the servants of the God of your father, beg you to forgive our sin." When Joseph received the message, he broke down and wept. Then his brothers came and threw themselves down before Joseph. "Look, we are your slaves," they said. But Joseph replied, "Don't be afraid of me. I am God and I can punish. Oh, wait. Don't be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. No, don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you and your children." So he reassured them by speaking kindly to them. So Joseph and his brothers and their families continued to live in Egypt. Joseph lived to the age of 110. He lived to see 3 generations of descendants of his son Ephraim, and he lived to see the birth of the children of Manasseh's son Machir, whom he claimed as his own. "Soon I will die," Joseph told his brothers, "but God will surely come to help you and lead you out of the land of Egypt. He will bring you back to the land he solemnly promised to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob." Then Joseph made the sons of Israel swear an oath, and he said, "When God comes to help you and lead you back, you must take my bones with you." So Joseph died at the age of 110. The Egyptians embalmed him, and his body was placed in a coffin in Egypt. And that is how Genesis ends.
Wow. This whole chapter, I think, is a mourning remembrance and reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
This is strong here. And to think that Jacob gets a royal funeral in a foreign land because of how God elevated Joseph. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, it shows how God's promises extend across generations and across borders.
Yeah. Kind of really sums up Joseph's whole life, betrayal, slavery, false accusations. But through it all, God was working behind the scenes, not to rescue just Joseph, but to save many lives.
Yeah. And Genesis doesn't end with the triumphant return to the promised land. It ends with hope. Patience is waiting, a promise yet to be fulfilled.
Yeah. And I think back, when we first started this with Genesis, that began in the garden and ends in the grave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think the story's over. The story's not over because the Bible would be over. And so we know that the story.
True that. This ending points forwards to Exodus. Exodus is next. To redemption and ultimately to Christ, but I think we have a little ways to go.
We have one day.
Because the Old Testament's still here, and Jesus Christ doesn't come until the New Testament. So I think we have pages.
The funny thing, not funny, haha, but funny thing is that when I read a lot of these passages, a lot of the songs from church, I don't know if they are coming from a lot of these passages. I think maybe there's probably a lot of it, but like Here I Am. That's one of my favorite songs. Here I Am, Lord.
Yeah.
And then Do Not Be Afraid. That's another one of my favorites. But I think we hear that throughout the Bible, all of that. But that's the first,
sure.
I don't know if I ever realized that was in the very beginning, those words. So
yeah.
Kind of cool.
You know that song, Wake Me Up Inside? You know who
Yeah.
sings the popular song. You know, who am I talking about?
Um,
Linkin Park, right?
no, are you talking about Wake Me Up Inside?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, what's that one?
It starts with the E. Shoot. The lady's name is Amy something.
Okay, well, whatever. Put in the comments if you know who we're talking about. We know what we mean. But anyways, I saw a TikTok or something that actually that song has some verses from the Bible, and it said the lines and the verses from the Bible. Not that it is a Bible song, I'm not saying that, but that kind of
Oh,
shocked me as well. Yeah, I'll have to find that again and send it to you. That was
yeah.
crazy.
I used to sing that song all the time, like on my
Did you?
I love that song. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the guy that sings the Wake Me Up in between is one of his favorite bands, lead singers. So kind of neat.
Cool. Wow. I can't believe we made it to the end of Genesis.
I know.
11 episodes. Woo woo. Clueless and all.
Listen, we're still a little clueless here, but that's okay.
Yeah, but we learned a lot, and I hope you did too.
Absolutely. All right, should we go into the litany?
Let's do it.
Here. Okay. Sorry, my hair's getting all right. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Oh, let me put the response there. The response is, Lord, help me trust you. There we go. When I can't see how the story ends.
Lord, help me trust you.
When we mourn what's been lost.
Lord, help me trust you.
When I feel forgotten, buried by years of silence.
Lord, help me trust you.
When we don't understand why you've led us away from what we thought was the promised land.
Lord, help me trust you.
When I fear the consequences of my past.
Lord, help me trust you.
When we stand at the edge of death and legacy.
Lord, help me trust you.
When I carry someone else's bones, waiting for your promise to be fulfilled.
Lord, help me trust you. Lord God, you are the author of every story and the keeper of every promise. Like Joseph, we have walked through uncertainty, loss, and waiting. Like Jacob, we have wrestled with fear and grief. But through it all, you have been faithful. Help us to remember that what others meant for harm, you can use for good. Give us the grace to trust you when we don't see the full picture, and the courage to follow you even when the road leads us into Egypt. May our lives be marked by hope, our hearts anchored by your word, and our journey shaped by your mercy. Until the day you come to lead us home. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
It was beautiful. I'm choking up. Hold on. I'm supposed myself. Okay, and that's a wrap. That's a wrap on the book of Genesis. Like I said, we started in the garden with Adam and Eve, and somehow we made it all the way to the coffin in Egypt. What a journey.
And what a God. Through every family mess, every wrong turn, and every long wait, he just kept showing up. Even when we clueless Catholics were like, wait, why is Joseph crying again?
There's so many tears, so many dreams, so many times we were like, hold on, that was in the Bible.
Right? But next week, it's party time.
Yeah. For next week, you got to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are celebrating our first full book in the Bible. We have a Genesis trivia game, probably some bloopers. I know there'll be bloopers.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely some clueless Catholic confessions. Like the moment I realized Judah's wife didn't have a name.
Oh, yeah. When I found out we could have used our womanhood to sit on a cushion all day.
That's right.
Or a week.
So make sure you join us, subscribe, leave us a review if you're enjoying the journey.
We'll see you next week for games, giggles, and some grace-filled fun.
Until then, keep reading, keep asking questions, stay curious, because sometimes the people who feel the most clueless
are the ones God surprises the most.
Right.
Thank you so much for watching. And we will
Oh,
definitely see you next week. And don't forget, oh, I wanted to mention one other thing. If you don't know, there is a website called formed.org. That's FORMED.org. And it's, let's see, it's an evolutionary online platform featuring the best Catholic videos, audio talks, ebooks, and movies from trusted partners. And it's pretty easy. You just go to form.org/sign up and you select your parish. Um, and then you register with your name and email address, and then you can get in, and it's free. And there's a lot of really, good resources there. I mean, I got some value from it. I hope you do too. Have you tried it, Karen?
I have not. I mean, they mention it all the time after mass or maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't know why. I just haven't gone
Well,
there.
it
But
takes
thank you
some
so
time
much.
to go through it, to be honest. There's
Yeah.
a lot there. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But no, good job. Thanks
All
for
right.
reminding me though, because I always forget about it. So
Yeah. So if you're watching this and if you get a chance to look that up, send us or put a comment too if you enjoyed that or if it's something that you found valuable. But we appreciate you watching us, and we can't wait to play our game next week and hope you're there.
yes, absolutely.
And our husbands will be back too, so that'll be even more fun.
Yeah, the
So
husbands are back. Yes.
yeah.
Everybody's probably like, oh, thank God.
They probably are. I know we will be. I know that's what we're thinking right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed our shenanigans and our readings, and we did the best we could. And
That's right.
see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.